name is Kevin Jackowitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review, spoiler review, for Shazam. Dude, this movie had me laughing so many times. Me and my girlfriend. So you start this movie, you get a clip of Thaddeus Savannah when he's young, and this is kind of the main villain in the movie. And Shazam brings him to this secret lair where, he tests Thaddeus and he proves unworthy, and so this starts the steamroll effect where he wants to take the power of the 7 deadly sins that were in the same layer, trying to coax him to grab this evil power that they could give him. And so that starts the ball rolling with him becoming Dr. Savannah. And then you have, obviously, Billy Batson, a disgruntled orphan who is trying to do the right thing and not always in the right place. But Shazam has to make the decision, makes him Captain Marvel, and a lot of fun stuff ensues from there. You start out with a very big type scenario, a kid in a grown man's body, and in a superhero's body now, so he's not only kind of adapting to what it's like to be a grown-up, but also what it's like to be a superhero. So it really kind of expands on Big in a way. Very fun. Some very fun moments come from that too. And they do actually throw a nod to Big in the movie. There's a scene where, during the first fight between Shazam and Dr. Savannah, where they're in this like toy store, and there's the light up keyboard that you step on and kind of, like Tom Hanks is dancing around on. So they actually had that as a nod to Big, which I thought was very cool. And while I'm talking about nods and things that you would like to see, they did not have anything about Black Adam in this. I really wish they would have. Not even in the end credits, no Black Adam. And they had one very, very brief clip of like Superman just from the neck down. You saw the Superman emblem, and that was it. So that was the only nod to anybody else in the Justice League. As far as the movie itself, though, Mark Strong, he finally figures out how to get to the entities. He absorbs these 7 deadly sins, and they did some really cool creature animations with that. And the big spoiler really was Shazam, this movie. I mean, there's not really a lot to spoil, but there was a big one that I did love, and that was Shazam realized toward the end of the movie that he was supposed to spread the wealth when it came to these magical powers, and so he had all of his, boarding house friends grab onto the Shazam staff, and they all called out Shazam, and then boom, they were instantly the other members of the Marvel Universe, or whatever you want to call it. I guess you can't call it Marvel Universe since Marvel has their own universe. But it was a very cool moment, and you kind of knew that Freddy, who was the character played by Jack Dylan Grazer, was going to be one of the Marvels, so that was pretty cool. He turns into his own version of Captain Marvel, so that was awesome. And then you get Meryl Marvel and all of them, so it was really cool that they did that the first movie, and that was kind of their way of helping take out all the 7 deadly sins, is they made this at least 6 Marvels. So very, very, very cool. I love that they did that. I talked about a lot of the heart in this movie, and Asher Angel, playing Billy Batson, has a lot of hard times dealing with the fact that he's going to another adopted family. He wants to run away. He's kind of against himself. He's trying to find out who his mother is. And that actually creates for some really good moments in the movie. One of the big moments is when he found his mom, and she was like, yeah, I knew you walked away, because there was a scene where they were at a fair when he was a young kid, and he was going after this little compass that his mom had given him, and so he goes and grabs it, walks away from his mom, and gets found by the cops, and she realizes that he was gone, and she just let him go, because apparently she just didn't want to be a mother. And so when he realizes that, you could tell it really messes him up, because he spent 3/4 of the movie trying to find his mom, and nothing happens. So it was kind of sad to see that, honestly. But he's like, you know what, you're right, I need to go be with my real family, and that's when he really makes the decision that these foster kids that are trying to befriend him are really his family, and he's really, you know, closer to these people than he wants to admit. And so he goes back to his foster family, and it's a really cool moment when they're all together. So that was awesome. And honestly, when they all became another Marvel, really helped bring them together in a much bigger way. I loved Cooper. Loved Cooper Andrews. Him and Marta Malance, who is the mother, they were both very, very good. But I paid particular attention to Cooper Andrews just because I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. I love Jerry in The Walking Dead. I really wanted him to do good. I wanted to see him in a role where he's really killing it. And I don't know if this is a role that he can really kill it in, but he did very good with it. He had a lot of really good funny timing. Really sold the father figure, and I thought it was great. You know, as somebody, he really conveyed that he understood this orphan lifestyle, and it really shows when he meets Billy and they first go home, and he's talking to him not like a douchebag. He's not trying to be this overly cool father. He's like, yo, dude, I get it. You know, take things at your own pace. And I really appreciated that, like, honestly. Like, it brought a little bit of realism to that. And it's funny because the heart in this movie is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So many moments, you know, with Dr. Savannah dealing with his father and the issues he had stemming from a father who was just a greedy dude who had, you know, trying to gain the world and didn't have any time for his son and treated him like absolute crap. Asher Angel, you know, trying to find his mother and dealing with the issues there and dealing with the foster family. It really did create some great, great moments. And Jack Dylan Grazer being the handicapped kid who always tells these like fantastical stories and he's kind of the outsider, really brings some real big heart. Honestly, there was a scene where Shazam is like throwing lightning for an audience and he hits the bus, and you kind of see that in the trailer, and he catches the bus and kind of says some mean things to Jack Dylan Grazer's character Freddy, and Freddy really lays into him, and you know, he says, you're right, I wish I had what you had, and I wouldn't take it for granted. And it was a really good, really emotional scene. I thought so anyway. I really liked it. I loved that scene. So overall, you can tell by the way I'm talking about it, I had a really good time with this. Zachary Levi killed it, Asher Angel killed it, Jack Dylan Grazer killed it, Mark Strong is Mark Strong. I think he always brings the strength to the roles. And, you know, I made the comparison to his role in Sinestro in the Green Lantern, and I think that's kind of fitting because it was kind of the same dynamic here. You know, it was a stereotypical villain, but he brought his own little style to it that I think really worked. And even the minor roles, like I was talking about, Cooper and Marta, they both did amazingly well. So overall, I had a lot of fun, and that's what this movie was geared toward. It was meant to make you laugh. Sold a lot of really good jokes, man. I mean, I'm really glad that they took the time to make sure that these jokes landed, because it worked. It really, really worked. It was such a joy to watch. It really was. A lot of fast-paced action when the timing was right. And it only had like 2 or 3 main battles, and but one of them was pretty extended, I think. And so you got the visual like stimuli. You got the holy shit aspect of this movie, and you got the heart from it. You got the comedy from it. Like, it just gelled perfectly, in my opinion. So it was. In no means was this a perfect movie. Like I said, this does not break new ground in the superhero genre or in movies in general. This is not a groundbreaking movie, but it is a good movie. I think they should all be proud of this one. And I'm a huge fan. And I'm so glad that the DC Universe is starting to get back on track. That is, like, honestly, that excites me more than anything, because at heart, as much as I love Marvel and I love the Marvel movies, and I seriously do, I'm a DC guy at heart. You know, I have a huge collection of DC comics, and I just am geared more towards those characters. So to see them starting to flesh out each individual character first now, and start where they should have started way back, it's very cool to see. It really is. So ladies and gentlemen, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 in my non-spoiler review. I'm going to stick with that here. I thought it was amazing. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, what the hell are you watching the spoiler review for? But go check it out. It was really fun. It really was. There are a couple of mid-credit and end-credit scenes. So, you know, if you want to stick around, I don't know if there's anything major to them. But very, very cool. So ladies and gentlemen, 8.5 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation out.